Good morning, everybody. So again, thank you all for coming. First full Monday of every month. We have Julie from the Rec Department is going to talk about some of her programs and some of the issues that she's dealing with our ball fields and different things. Next month, we're going to have the director of the beaches come in and give you an update on what's going on at our beaches. I'm very glad to report the 4th of July is over. So I'm going to talk about that for a little bit. I want to thank Falmouth TV for hosting this every month. As I said, next month will be beaches. September will be our firearms unit and use of force team are going to come in, and they're going to talk about training, programs, equipment, a couple of warrant articles we have going for fall town meeting. And then we have our senator, state senator, and state reps coming in October. And in November is going to be a really interesting meeting. We're going to bring in some folks from the building committee for the new police station, our OPM, our project manager, and hopefully an architect to explain where we are in the process with that before we go into fall town meeting looking for funding requests for design. So the 4th of July was very interesting, and just to explain to you, when I came 2 years ago, we had the near riots and vandalism. We had kids throwing full beer cans through people's windows, people breaking into people's homes, different things going on, kids that were very, very fresh. So we decided that we were going to add some policing, some staffing to the town days before the fireworks, because a lot of the problems happened leading up into the fireworks. So what I called them was basically just kind of like impact shifts, just to kind of make a positive impact and kind of, hopefully thwart things from happening, prevention by having, having officers on the road. And it worked very, very well last year, and it worked even better this year. We brought in several officers Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, and last night. Some of the things we dealt with were, obviously people that were intoxicated. Along those lines, we made several arrests. We had some barroom fights, different things along that nature. We actually had a slow-moving pursuit. An arrest was made. Person was intoxicated. We discovered a bunch of Class A narcotics and a legally possessed firearm. So we got another gun off the street during this. And those impact shifts helped, with that. So to show you how busy we were, I brought in the entire police department. So everyone's ordered on for certain events of the year. 4th of July is one of them. So you had every officer that's employed by the police department. There are no days off. Everyone's called to duty. I also brought in some of our reserve officers that work paid details as some of our retirees. I brought in all our community service representatives. We have 6 of them. They came in. We hired 25 state police troopers and probably 5, 6, 7 people from the sheriff's department. And we also had people from the fire marshal service here as well. We didn't pay them. The state took care of that. We had multiple drones watching traffic patterns and watching the crowds and different things. It was kind of where people were drinking alcohol. We could deal with those issues. A lot of alcohol-related issues starting in the morning. Literally people drinking at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the morning that we were dealing with early on. So there's a cost to that. That comes out of our budget. And I don't know the tally, but last year it was $83,000. This year I'm sure it's going to be north of that. So there is a cost to the police department and a cost to your officers. My day started at 7 o'clock in the morning. It's supposed to be my holiday off, and it ended after 11 o'clock at night. And I can tell you the midnight shift, they answered 76 calls for service on the midnight shift on the 4th. That's just one shift. And that played through right through the weekend. We dealt with some crazy things. Like I said, we had some drug overdoses. We had a young lady try to commit suicide. She jumped out of a moving car on 28 doing 60 miles an hour in Falmouth. So it was an interesting time for us. The good news is we didn't have the issues we had 2 years ago. So we're going to continue with this as long as we have these fireworks, making sure you folks are safe. I'm just guesstimating probably 30,000+ people just in the Heights alone. We have some event that takes place at Goodwill Park. A bunch of folks from Fall River and New Bedford come into town. I stationed 3 officers there. We didn't have any issues there. Again, we've had in the past. We had officers assigned to Minot Beach, 2 troopers. We had a 2-man car and 2 ATVs up at Old Silver in that area, and the folks up there were very happy with us. So we really deployed across town. Surf Drive, it was busy everywhere. It really was an unbelievable event. However, we didn't have, like I said, the terrible issues we had when I first came. So we'll carry on with that. I look forward to the road race and getting that behind us, and then a lot of the folks leave us. And I'm very thankful that they visit and that they support our economy. But in all honesty, I'll be very happy when they leave. But we're here to serve everybody. It's an honor to be a part of the community. Just so you're aware, the town manager has decided to keep me. He signed me early for another 3 years, so I plan on sticking around for a while. Yeah, hopefully I'll sign that this week. It was a surprise to me, but obviously he feels I'm doing an okay job, so making him happy, I'm happy. But that being said, again, thank you for having me. The first full Monday of every month, I look forward to being here next month, and things are going great across the way over there. Your office is doing an outstanding job. I have 2 in the field training program now, just graduated from the Falmouth Academy, the very first class. We have interviews this week. I have 2 days of interviews to fill 2 positions. We're doing great. It's really going really well over there. So without further ado, our illustrious Recreation Department, rock star.
Thank you. Hi, thank you for having me. Ooh, is that loud? Just to me? So my name is Julie Williams-Tinkham. I've been the director of Falmouth Recreation Department for just under a year. I was a teacher, physical education and health teacher for 20 years, and then I came into the recreation field. So we're in the middle of summer camp right now, so it's so much fun, a lot of activity, a lot of running around. But we also have, during the summer, we also have evening adult programs. So Monday night we have women's soccer, Tuesday night we have volleyball, Wednesday night we have basketball, Thursday night we have futsal. Does anybody know what futsal is? So it's basically indoor soccer, but instead of using the walls to bounce the ball off of, you actually use the basketball court. So basically soccer on Thursday nights. So we're going to switch up our programming a little bit in the fall. Right now our building is closed to the public during the day with our summer camp, but in the fall we'll restart our very popular indoor walking program. Has anybody been indoor walking with us? Yep, 11 to 12, Monday through Friday, we have indoor walking. We also have another favorite is Diane Quinn's exercise, her dance fitness class. Has anybody done that? That's a good one too. Diane Quinn comes in and teaches a dance fitness class for us Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. What time? I don't remember. Sometime in the morning? 9? We'll go with 9. That sounds good. We'll also switch up some of our adult evening programs. So if there are some things that you think would be fun, like do we have anybody who plays pickleball in the crowd? Yeah, we'll start pickleball again in the fall. We try to put that in the evening. Right now we're closed on Saturday and Sunday. We need to recover from summer camp. But in the fall, we'll be open again on Saturdays, so we'll try to get some programs in there. Yeah, it's a lot. Summer camp's a lot. That's all that I can think of off the top of my head. Am I missing anything? I was a teacher, so I'm very good with wait time. Was anybody else ever an educator? Yeah, right, wait time. You just wait. I'm sorry, you're going to have to speak into the microphone. It's my mother.
I can speak as a teacher. How many kids are in summer camp?
It's a great question. So we cap out at 130 per session, but we did try to take as many kids off the waiting list as we could, so we have about 135. So today, the first and second graders went to Highfield Hall for their field trip. Third and fourth graders are going to Chuck E. Cheese on Wednesday, and the fifth and sixth graders are going to go to Starland on Wednesday. I don't know what Starland is, but the kids are excited, so it's probably someplace fun. Yeah. Any other questions?
So with this group, when she talks about the adult walking program that they offer after the summer camp is done, you know, we encourage people to take advantage of that. I mean, I remember when we used to have the mall and a lot of people would walk inside the mall. So if it's a cold day or a rainy day, just to keep yourself moving, whether you're taking a class here or taking a class at the rec, it's great to have this walking program. So what we try to do is we try to market that, whether it's pickleball or walking program or open gym time. There might be some adults that love to play basketball, pickleball. So we try to encourage our collaboration with the rec center. I believe you got some great other types of programs because you got a lot of new staff as well.
We do. We have, Kevin is my assistant director. He's been there for a few years. We do have 2 new program administrators. So we have Sarah Wheeler, who's our program administrator for enrichment and special events. So when we do things like touch a truck, or we had our Pride block party, she helps out with those events. And then we also have Ramon Pyers, who's our sports program administrator, and he does a lot of our sports programs. Mostly the youth programs, but he does the adult programs as well. So we're looking to add some more sports programs as well.
So my understanding, you also rent out some rooms and also other groups utilize the rooms. You might have some other groups of card gaming or social programs or knitting and stuff.
Yeah, we're a community center, so we do have a lot of meeting spaces. So we do have groups that come and meet and do various things in our building. Great question. Thank you, Jill.
How do they get involved in some of those programs? If they don't know if they're on the schedule, say I'm interested in knitting, like how would they get involved, or mahjong, or learn to play, or anything like that?
So none of those programs are actually run through us. They're run through outside groups. So if it's something that you might be interested in, we can connect you with the people who actually are the contact person for those groups. For example, we have the crazy quilters come in. I don't know, do we have any crazy quilters in the room? Okay, so if you wanted to be a crazy quilter, we could just connect you with that group, because they're not our group, but they meet in our space, so we can always connect folks. We've had some people come and ask us about table tennis. Do we have any table tennis players? I'm feeling like, what do you folks do? Do you walk? So I've had some folks who've been interested in table tennis, and they've actually collaborated to meet at the recreation center on certain days so that they can play table tennis. So we have some folks who just are looking for different things, and we try to connect folks as much as we can and get people moving.
I know they had the Christmas trip to New York, the bus trip. Do you have any more of those type trips?
So we're planning on doing that again this year. We don't have anything else. I know there's been talk of doing a spring trip. That was a lot for me in my first year. So we're gonna do the one in December again. We'll send that information out and bring it over here as soon as we have it, and then we can gauge some interest about a spring trip.
I live back there off Dillingham Ave, and when Lawrence School lets out, there's always a pack of kids that walk through, and it looks like they're coming to the rec center. I'm just curious. That my first question is just curious, like, is that where they're headed? And if so, what kind of programs are happening? And then kind of related to that is, you mentioned sometimes that the rec center is closed. Is that like, and so it seems a little bit sad to have that happen. Is that a staffing funding issue, or like something that the town could rectify, or is it lack of demand for programs? Like how?
It's a lot of questions you're
I know,
asking me at
sorry.
once. I'm going to try to dig through them. Right now, during the summer, we're closed to the public because we have the 130 kids in the building. We're not open on the weekends right now because we don't have any weekend programming. When we're open on Saturdays and Sundays, it's because we have programs that are happening in our building on those days. We've tried to be open some Saturdays or Sundays when we don't have programs, and there's not a lot of folks that come in. So we're going to try to continue to add programs in, and we do have the staffing right now, which is great, that we can do that. But we do need all hands on deck for our summer program, which is why we're not open on Saturdays and Sundays during the summer. Does that answer that question?
I think so, yeah. I mean, just whether you feel like it's utilized as much as it could be, and if not, what.
I'll come back next year and see if I have an update for you on that. As far as Lawrence, I don't know where all those kids are going, but we do have after school, we have open gym, and we also have the teen center that's available for kids. So a lot of Lawrence kids and some high school kids come and access that after school. So yes, some of those kids are coming. We just provide a place where they can come and be safe and do things like games and pick up basketball and such like that. We also have a half-day program. So on school half-days, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th graders pre-register. It's free, but they do have to register. They can come to our building. We provide them a snack, a drink, and a place to kind of hang out. So we usually have an arts and crafts activity that they do. We have gymnasium time, and some of them do sit on their computers in the teen center, but we just kind of try to create a space where they can interact and have a safe place to come after school. So we'll have that again next year. That was a success. The one thing is, though, they do have to pre-register, so we know who's coming. Kids who don't pre-register and just show up, usually we just call home and get verbal confirmation and then register them through our program.
And the other great resource is when there's flu clinics held through the collaboration with the health department and the VNA, it's over there. We also collab. Well,
Are you on?
come on. Yeah, not close enough. So there's a lot of collaboration efforts. So I have a quick question. So if you talk about usage, so if you're a group that wants to have a bunch of friends or establish like a let's play mahjong or whatever, so what's the process to go, and are there fees associated with it if someone wanted to create a group to come into the center?
You're asking me very difficult questions. Our fee structure is kind of not clear at this point. So if you did want to, I think a better example is like if your association, like your neighborhood association wanted to come and meet in our building and it wasn't during the summer, that seems to be a popular thing that happens. You just come in or you can call and we'll email you the building use form. So you can fill out a building use form where we then determine if there's a fee associated. The fees are usually depending on what group it is. Is it a group that makes money? We're going to charge a fee. If it's something that you want to do that's outside of the hours that we're open, we're going to charge you a fee because we have to pay the staff to open the building. But you just fill out a form and then we'll add you to the schedule if we can. Does that answer that question? Sure.
Walter McLean. I have a comment and a question. Comment, yes, the walking indoors is really helpful. And I noticed that when we do it, that's the tortoise and the hare. I think we're more the tortoise and the hares go by us all the time. But we enjoy walking there. And the question is there any place on the website or someplace where we could find all the information that you just gave? For example, what's available on certain days and things like that.
Sure, we do have, we try to keep our website as updated as we can, but we do have a seasonal flyer that we have. It's not as advanced as the senior center flyer that's like a full-on book, but it does have like a trifold. So we do have kind of what programs are happening in a trifold. So you can stop by and pick that up.
Thank you, that'd be very helpful.
Sure.
So the other, to help him also, I believe you can subscribe to get their emails as well.
Yeah, I send monthly newsletters. Does anybody get my monthly newsletters?
Yeah. So if not, you can subscribe and you can see what's happening, some special programs.
Yeah, we have a monthly newsletter that I try to put as much information in as I can.
You said your after-school program was fairly successful. On average, how many young people do you have? You said 6th, 7th, and 8th grades?
So our half-day program, is that what you're talking
Yeah.
about? Sure, it's
Yeah.
5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. I'm gonna guess that we have somewhere between 30 and 50 kids
Okay.
come.
And is that overseen by paid staff or volunteers?
So that is actually our staff. So
That's
it's
your
my
staff.
paid staff that,
Okay.
that oversee that.
And I assume your staff
I
is
do-
quarried?
I do have a volunteer that a couple volunteers that come, and of course, yeah, my recreation staff was quarried upon hiring, and any volunteer we have gets quarry checked as
Thank
well.
you.
Great question.
Another great collaboration that we do with the rec center is during tax seasons. The senior center, we are able to schedule all of the appointments because they're for all ages. But Julie and her team are great. They set up the space for all the tax volunteers. They handle hundreds of tax returns, so that's a great collaboration during the months of January through April.
Yeah.
Another good program that I don't know if it's you that runs it, I know a lot of volunteers. It's the after-school prom party. It's a great thing for the kids and to keep them safe after prom. I know there's a lot of volunteers. I don't know if your staff is involved in it.
Yeah, so the after prom was rough this year, but I still think it was a great success. We have the Falmouth Together We Can does the after prom in our building. So I have to have a staff person always in the building when we're open. So there's a couple of staff who were there. Plus, what you may not realize is how much time they take beforehand to decorate. Has anybody ever decorated for after prom? Yeah, it's a lot. So my staff is involved in that, as well as cleanup is a thing. The cleanup. It was a lot. It was my first year to go through it, but yeah. So my staff is there. It does happen in our building, and it's really great. And anything that they have that are left over for snacks are actually what we're using to give out for snacks for our campers who come to camp without a snack. So it's great because then they donate their any items that they have left over, and we're able to use them for our summer program, which is they're really generous. The community is very generous to them as well. Thank you. Yeah. I thought you were going to talk about how awesome I was, but we'll wait till the next time you.
So another, I'll go over there for a second, but another big element is all the fields. Is all the fields that you have to maintain or support and schedule and
Yeah,
stuff.
like a lot of fields. Yes.
You'll probably kill me for this question.
Go ahead, Mother.
She is my daughter. What's happening on Gifford Street?
Gifford Street.
Sick.
John Neal Fields?
Yeah.
Sure. So that is actually now a DPW project, but they're working on remediating the John Neal Fields. So we're working on, they'll have to remediate, so they'll have to cap the dump that was there. They'll have to cap it and put fill, and the DPW has been spearheading that project. So really excited to get that finished, but it is going to take a few years and a lot of money, but I think that it's going to be great for town because it is a great field, and the way that it was done when it was done years ago was the way that it was done. And, but now it's 2025. Is it still 2025? Yeah, so things are done a little bit differently now. So I have full faith that Peter McConerty and his team are going to get it done and done correctly.
You should explain that the John Neal Field is the Little League field.
It's not a Little League field, it's a youth baseball field. John Neal Field is the youth baseball field, yeah. So that whole, while we're talking about fields, So we have quite a few fields that we schedule for the Recreation Department, and Kevin Rotler is my assistant director. He does the field scheduling. So if you do want to use one of our fields for something, we have a separate form for the fields. You can contact us and we'll give you that form to whether you just want we have a lot of family outings. People will submit paperwork for a family outing, or we have leagues that play at various fields. We schedule all of those. We also schedule most of the school fields during non-school times. So after 5 p.m. During the school year and all the day long on weekends and during the summer, we schedule all the fields except for the high school. So the high school schedules their own field, but we schedule all of those. So I'd give you a list of fields, but I'm going to forget some. But we schedule the Heights, right? We schedule the baseball field at Nye Park. We schedule Alietta Field. We schedule the fields at Sandwich Road. We schedule all the fields, right? One thing we don't schedule are any tennis or pickleball courts. So those are on the first come, first serve basis. So if you call us and ask if you can do a tournament at a tennis court, we're going to tell you no, because it is open to the public and we can't close those for tournaments. That's for community use. The question was, is noise still a factor for pickleball? Is noise ever not going to be a factor for pickleball? Yes. I think that's always going to be an issue, but right now, while we're on pickleball, you can play pickleball at Nye Park, has dedicated pickleball courts. You can also play at Swift Park, but only certain days. I can't remember which days. And then the high school, even though it's not a recreation facility, there are pickleball courts at the high school as well. I think there's 6 courts there.
Where do I pick that up?
Which days? Which days, which field is open? The high school it's first come, first serve. So those.
I look it up on the internet to find out that if I want to play pickleball at the high school, it's available at this day.
So the high school is always available as long as it's not a school day. So you just have to look up the school calendar, which they're not in session now. So all summer long, you can go play at the high school. And Nye Park is also always open. And Swift Park, I just can't remember which days are tennis and which days are pickleball, but it's like every other day. And that should be posted there as well. You do have to bring your own nets to the high school. There aren't nets there.
Can you tell me what's going on with the skating park and with the soccer field up there?
Sure. So I can try. So the skate park, we have design and engineering done. We put the project out to bid, and we got no bids. So we're going to have to rebid that project and try to get that done as soon as we can. But the design and engineering is done, and we have the funding. We just need to get somebody to do it. As far as was that not?
She's saying it's closed off.
You're talking about Trotting Park Fields. That was, okay. They put a barrier there for the weekend to try to prevent the parking situation at Goodwill Park. That was only closed for the weekend. We did get a call from the DPW to see if we had anything scheduled on any of those fields over the weekend, and we do not. So that was just for the weekend. Good question. I was answering questions you didn't have. I'm sorry. Any other questions?
So it's just a good example, like most things, it's not just what we do in a building. There's so many other impacts we have in the community. Same with the senior center, so much we do in the community, not just in our building, and look at all the fields and stuff that she needs to maintain and schedule and stuff.
Do you have anything to do with Goodwill Park, or is that all the beach committee? They have friends coming down for a day trip, and we're considering using Goodwill Park, but I don't have a beach sticker. How does that work? And I couldn't seem to find too much information online.
So that's not me, but I don't think you need a beach sticker to use Goodwill Park. I think that they do have a capacity with what they can take. So that isn't me, but I'm sure that you don't need a sticker was confirmed in the crowd.
Oh, okay. I thank you.
I think crowdsourcing might help you there. You need a sticker to use the pond?
They have a person at the gate checking beach stickers. Not for the park.
I would recommend contacting the beach
Yeah,
superintendent.
that might be a good beach department question to have. And they are open now. I know we get a lot of phone calls off season because people try to call the beach department and there's no answer because their office is closed off season. But I know the office is open, so they should be able to help you with that.
Any more questions? No? So I mentioned to Julie, and I always say, throw it out there. If there's programs or activities or things that you're interested in, would like to see, don't ever hesitate to shoot an email, put in a suggestion if there's a program that you'd like to partake in and that we're not offering, whether it's the senior center or the rec center, okay? So you feed us, and we try and implement stuff.
Please do remember, though, that my staff, there's 5 full-time staff members in my building. That's it. So sometimes people want things, and they want us to teach them. I don't always have the capacity to do that, because I have had some suggestions for things where we'll try our best to help you, but sometimes we do need to bring in outside vendors to come and do different programs. So if you come with ideas, just make sure that you understand that I'm going to try my best to get things going, but I am limited with the staff that I have. For example, none of us can teach yoga. I said yoga. Yeah, I can't teach yoga well.
You open the rooms for games on the weekend because you can't play on the weekends here.
You're asking us to open rooms for games on the weekend? Are you volunteering to oversee the game playing on the weekends? Yeah, it's a possibility. Not this summer. Okay. What kind of games are you talking about?
So I would think this might fall into the category of people utilizing the rooms and booking the rooms and bringing their own groups.
Right. We do have groups that meet on Saturdays, and during the fall, we have our fall youth soccer program. So our programs happen off-site, but our building is open. So we do have some groups that meet on Saturdays. So it would be a possibility for sure.
Any other questions? Well, thank you, Julie, for all this information and for coming. Yeah. All right, you guys have a wonderful July. Go to the street fair on Wednesday.